Thank you. So as everyone joins us this afternoon, thank you ever so much for joining us for our next Quality Support Hub for the July meeting this year. I hope it's a sunny and glorious view. I've put my background on so you can't see, but it is a lovely sunny day in Northumbria today. So I hope everyone's enjoying the sunshine and the nice weather. Really looking forward to today's session. For those of you that don't know, I'm Deborah Paget. I am Head of Pathology Service in Northumbria and North East and North Cumbria Pathology Network Operational Lead. And I also chair the Specialty Advisory Panel with the IBMS. So it's a pleasure to have Helen join us today to deliver her presentation on the path to becoming a quality manager and to tell us about her experience and her role as a quality manager as well and how she's got there. Helen is currently the Associate Director of Quality and Governance for North West London Pathology Services, but she's had a fabulous background in biochemistry, in point of care, before moving into quality management, and she's been in a quality management role for the last 16 years. I spent a good period of time as a quality manager as well, and it was absolutely one of my favourite roles as I moved through different career grades. So I'm really looking forward to hearing about this today, and hopefully we'll inspire some other people to think about a journey into quality management if they haven't already done so. So Helen, the floor is all yours. Would you like to share your screen?
Thank you very much, Deborah. Hopefully you can see
We've
my
got
screen
it
now. Yep.
Yeah.
So thanks very much for that introduction. So today I'm going to talk about how to become a quality manager in pathology and around my experiences of it. So what I should be doing today, I will first of all give you a bit more of an introduction about who am I and how did I get here. So what qualifies me to be able to give you this talk today, what the role of the quality manager is, what the role of the quality manager isn't, and qualifications that are required for working in quality management, what are the personal attributes and skills that you need, experience that might be required, and then I'm going to finish up with some lived experiences as well. So first of all, who am I and how did I get to where I am? So as Deborah introduced me, I am the Associate Director of Quality and Governance at North West London Pathology, and that's one of the largest NHS pathology providers in the UK. I've been a quality manager for almost 17 years now. It was 16 years in Deborah's one, but it's almost 17 years because I started in July back in the day. So how did I get to where I am now? So this is a little timeline of my career in biomedical science. So I started as a trainee biomedical scientist in clinical biochemistry back in 2001. I became a state registered biomedical scientist at the time through the Blue Book, not a portfolio, and became a registered scientist. And then I did my master's and became a senior biomedical scientist. So after 5 years of working as a biomedical scientist on the bench in the lab as part of clinical biochemistry, I'd also rotated into point of care testing and looking after blood gas analyzers and glucose meters across the trust. And I found that really interesting. So when I saw a job coming up as a point of care coordinator, I thought that's something a bit different. I'll go and have a look and see where that takes me. So I worked for a couple of years as point of care coordinator, and I was line managed by the pathology quality manager at the time. Now you'll see I've got two very close timelines in here. I've got 2008, 2009. So in 2008, my manager, the pathology quality manager, went on a 1 year secondment absence from her role, and I acted up into the role of pathology quality manager. Now, at that time, I was slightly cautious about, did I really want to step away from the science, from the bench? And what happens if she doesn't return from her secondment and I'm then the pathology quality manager forever? what do I do? So I did have a mini freak out, and I decided that I would also go for a year away. So I went and traveled the world for a year when my line manager returned in 2009. And the reason why I've included this in my career timeline, which might seem a little bit weird, is that when I was traveling around the world, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to still be a quality manager, if that's what I wanted to follow. But when I was asked what I did for a living when I was traveling around all over the place around the world, I would tell them that I was a quality manager, explain to them what I do, what that meant, and people would always reply with, "You really enjoy your job, don't you?" Because of the enthusiastic way I was talking about it. So that year out really made me realize that quality management was for me. So when I got back, I was cellular pathology quality manager. For about a year, I took over quality management in a laboratory that had failed CPA accreditation at the time and was bringing them back in line with accreditation and making sure they had all the processes in place. And then I went for another pathology quality manager substantive post, and for a trust in a single hospital trust in East London. And then I was invited back to Imperial, which is part of North West London Pathology, as the overall pathology quality manager. And then when we became a network for North West London Pathology in 2017, I became the North West London Pathology Quality and Governance Manager, and recently have been made the Associate Director of Quality and Governance. So that's a brief timeline of my career so far. So how do you get to become a quality manager? So first of all, what is the role of quality manager? So in ISO 15189 2012, there was actually a section about the quality manager, and it really quite well explained what a quality manager should do, obviously very high level. I think the important points of this was the role of ensuring that processes needed for the quality management system are established, implemented and maintained. And it involves reporting on the performance of the quality management system and any need for improvement, and also the promotion of awareness of users' needs and requirements, which I think is really key for quality. When the 2022 standard came out, they actually removed the requirement for a quality manager. But luckily, that didn't mean we were all out of jobs. It did include a section on quality management saying that there should be personnel. So this was just realizing that it doesn't have to be a single quality manager. It can be done by many people. And with smaller labs, especially over COVID, you don't necessarily need to have one person doing the whole role of a quality manager, but there does need to be personnel doing those different things. So luckily we did still manage to keep our jobs following 2022, and the quality manager role remains a crucial one. And as off the back of the 2022 standards in 2023, the IBMS released an updated version of the guidance of the role of quality personnel in clinical laboratories, which is well worth a read. So please do go have a look at that on the IBMS website. So to me, what the role of a quality manager is to make sure that we've got a quality management system in place and that it's developed and maintained. And as the 2022 standard says, I think the identification of deviations is really important. And that might be through processes of audit and risk management, reporting incidents and non-conformities, but always with a goal to have continual improvement in place. And you, I'm sure, are aware of the plan, do, check, act cycle of continuous improvement within quality management. And this is really key and really central to what a quality manager does. And it's having that oversight of that. I think the other thing that a quality manager role is key for is to be the patient advocate, making sure that we do always think about the users of our service and ultimately the patients, and making sure that within the laboratory, within the organization, there is a culture of both quality and safety embedded. And that's just to ensure that we're always a learning organization and making sure that we keep our patients safe. What's not the role of a quality manager? So I sometimes have conversations with people. They say, oh, you're the quality manager. Do you do this? Do you do that? So some of the things that I don't think a quality manager's role is, it's not our role to update all of the SOPs in the lab. It's not just a documentation administration role. And in fact, the best SOPs are written by the people who use the SOPs, who do the procedures. And of course, quality managers can't do every single procedure in the laboratory, so they won't be the right people to write your procedures. They will be the right people to write the quality procedures and provide direction in quality processes, but not all of the procedures across the department. We're not the people that review and act on IQC or EQA. That's operational. It is assuring quality within the laboratory and our processes, but IQC should be reviewed and acted upon, and same with EQA, by the biomedical scientists carrying out those assays, who have the in-depth expertise and knowledge of those assays, which your quality manager might not have full in-depth knowledge. But we do need to know about IQC and EQA, and we do need to understand those processes. The quality manager shouldn't be the only person investigating all incidents and non-conformities. If we've got a safety culture in place, the idea is that we do report lots of no harm incidents and non-conformities so that we can learn from those. So we want everyone to be doing this. Everyone should have quality as part of their role, and we want all of our biomedical scientists and staff within pathology helping us investigate, but the quality managers will provide training and oversight and insight into that task. And the other thing that the quality manager is not is the only person who understands the standards, regulations, and requirements. And that is one of the key things within our role, is to make sure that we're not the only person that understands the standards, regulations, and requirements. We need to be able to interpret the standards so that they're understood by everyone, because everyone needs to have quality and patient safety at the heart of what they do within the laboratory. So what qualifications are required for quality management? Well, there is no standard qualification for a quality manager in pathology. It's helpful to have a quality management qualification, and it will give you confidence in your role because you'll have the right knowledge and the right understanding of quality management systems. If you're going for a quality role, then read the job description and the job specification, and also be mindful of what your organisation department policies for training are. It could be that a master's that you've already done has a large element of quality and risk management within it, so there's not necessarily the need for an additional qualification. Having said that, the IBMS does have a certificate of expert practice in quality management, which will really give you those underpinning skills and the knowledge of the principles of quality. And it really is something that you probably wouldn't know about unless you delve deep into, but it gives you that really excellent underpinning. But studying in quality doesn't give you the how to apply it. It gives you the knowledge so that you can then go away and apply that within your studies. Obviously, in addition to the IBMS Certificate of Expert Practice, there are other qualifications. The BSI, the British Standards Institute, has a diploma in quality management, but that more concentrates on ISO 9001, which is a generic quality management standard rather than ISO 15189, which is the standard for competence of medical laboratories. University of Greenwich Online Learning has a healthcare quality management. You can do a master's, you can do a diploma, you can do a PG cert in that as well, and that is lab focused. But there are other universities such as University of Dundee that has quality improvement and patient safety diploma, and the London School of Business and Research Advanced Certificate in Healthcare Quality Management. So if you have a look around, there are many, many more on top of this, but just wanted to point out that there are lots of different qualifications that you can get, but really do have a think about what it is you want to get from those qualifications if you're doing a qualification in quality management, and making sure that it is fit for what you want to achieve in your career. So what personal attributes and skills do you need? Well, I've decided you need to be mad, insane, and crazy to be a quality manager, but I will go through what all of that means. So under mad, you need to be a multitasker. And then because of that, you need to be able to be organized and be able to prioritize your workload. There's no one thing in quality that you go into work today and say, right, today I'm going to write this report. The chances of you actually doing that without something coming up, advice needed, teaching needed, something incident occurring, is very slim. So you do need to be able to multitask, you need to be able to organize, and you need to be able to prioritize. There's never a boring day as a quality manager. You do need to be an acronym lover, and hence my mad, crazy, and insane. But we do talk in code and quality and in pathology in general. We've got UCAS, we've got PSEF, we've got RCA, we've got MHRA, we've got HFEA, we've got CAPAs, we've got SEEPs, we've got HTA, we've got ISO, we've got PSIIs. We don't stop talking in acronyms. So if those kind of things annoy you, then maybe quality management isn't for you. And we're really keen on documents, but I've decided that I'm going to take the D away from being documents because I'm going to talk about that later. So instead, we're going to be ducks. And we are the ducks at the front. We keep a cool, calm persona. We don't want to panic, but we are working really, really hard under the water to make sure that we achieve the goals that we need to within the quality management system. So insane. We are the very first influencers. Forget Instagram, YouTube, and the likes. We came out way before these. And our role as quality managers will normally be in a position where you're not line managing people that you want to follow your processes, that you need to be able to influence people at all different levels to be able to understand and follow what you need them to do in order to keep our patients safe and to have the quality management system working appropriately. In that same vein, you need to be a really good negotiator because you don't line manage the people that need to follow your processes. There's often competition with operations around making sure that we can meet all the requirements of the quality management system. So being able to meet people midway and understand what needs to be done, but do it in such a way that it's easy for operational teams to follow is really key. You need to be a stats lover. I haven't met a quality manager that doesn't love Excel. But also things like working out measurement uncertainty, standard deviations, probability, the amount of pivot tables that you will learn to be able to do using Excel is really, really key. And that's all part of us producing reports so that we can demonstrate the quality management system as being effective within our organizations. We're advisors. So as I said before, we interpret the standards. So where there are changes, where things happening within the department, then we make sure that we are advocates for both the patient and for those standards and where we need to meet those. And we can provide advice to the lab staff and to the executive teams on what is required. We're nurturers, which I felt like it was a made up name, that we nurture people. It's a nurturer, but I did find it that it is a true word. But I could just say that we're tutors, but we don't just teach people. We have to be there afterwards and support them and carry them through processes sometimes, because as I said before, you can have the knowledge of quality, but actually applying that and understanding what that means does take time, and we can't expect people just to pick it up after one training session. And then we are evidence-based. Never assume anything as a quality manager, because then you'll become unstuck. We do need to make sure that we do receive evidence and that we are able to demonstrate that our quality management system is in place. And then finally, curious. Curiosity killed the cat, apparently, but it definitely makes a quality manager. Keep asking the questions. If you think of something that you don't know and you want to look further into it, keep asking. It's guaranteed that someone else will also have that same question. And once you finally get to the answer, then you can share that learning with other members of the team and within the organization. We need to be resilient. We're trying to do something which not everybody understands. And you'll come across difficult situations and difficult people that don't really get what we're trying to do from a quality management point of view, but that's okay. And we can just try and do it differently and see if that will work in a different way. We're the assurance provider. So like I said, when we're providing reports and we're demonstrating key performance indicators, we're providing assurance to the organization, to our trusts, that we have a quality service and we're able to provide evidence of that. Now, I got a bit stuck with Z. So if anyone's got a Z, do put it in the chat. But I put Z deficient, and this is not because quality keeps you awake at night. But you will find as a quality manager, you do have that constant thought in the back of your mind, how can I make things better? How can we improve that situation? And often that will come to you in the middle of the night when you least expect it. So I think you'll probably find that most quality managers will have a notebook next to their bed so that they can quickly write that down and go back to sleep again. And then, yes, people, all quality managers have a positive attitude. We do end up in situations where we're dealing with incidents, with complaints, when things go wrong, and we can't get bogged down by that, because the whole point of quality management should be that we are improving our services and that we have a positive attitude and try and use our influencing, as I mentioned before, to get there. So leadership skills is really key, and I don't know if any of you have seen the first follower video on the TED Talk, but this is really one of the skills that you need to have. So if you haven't seen this, the video has this person, slightly crazy looking, dancing on a hill at a festival, and then one person joins him eventually, and then because that one person, that first follower, joins, then you end up with a whole mob of people dancing on the hill. And that's what we need to do as quality managers. Unfortunately, we're the one crazy person doing the crazy dance at first, but as long as we can convince people to come along and join us, then we will get somewhere. So that leadership skill of being able to be brave and step out there is really important. And you also need to be a really good communicator. As quality manager, you are communicating with staff from suppliers, from regulatory bodies, to UCAS, to our executive boards. And you need to understand that there are different ways to communicate with all of those different people, and use those different methods of communication as well. So it's really key. So what experience do you need to be a quality manager? Well, in your roles, do get involved in quality improvements. If you can identify an improvement and get involved in that improvement within your service, then that's really key. When I'm interviewing staff for quality manager positions, I do ask to give an example of a quality improvement that you've implemented. And it doesn't need to be something massive, but whenever you're implementing quality improvements, you should be thinking about how is that actually going to improve my service and how can I measure that? And that's what we want to be able to see. Report incidents and non-conformities when you identify them. It's really important for anyone's quality management system that everyone gets involved, and hopefully you can be involved in the investigation of those incidents, but if not, do follow up what happened to it after that you have reported it, so that you're able to learn and be able to put those things into practice as well. Because remember, reporting incidents and non-conformities is all about learning from our experiences and making quality improvements. In the same vein, identify risks and identify actions that could be taken to mitigate them. If you're working on the bench, you'll be able to pick up on things that are risks that maybe people above looking down at the processes without that lived experience of working on the bench, we might not be able to identify the risks that you can. So do identify them and think about what can we do to change that and mitigate it. You can ask to shadow a member of your quality team, and quality managers are really enthusiastic about what we do. As Deborah said, it was one of the best jobs she's ever had, and it is really important that you see what they do, because they might be doing something completely different to what you do. And before going to an interview, try and get a really good understanding of the organisation's quality management system. And you can do that by obviously talking to the quality team or the organisation that you're going for an interview at. But if it's within yours, make sure you know the quality manual, know the system, and that you're able to pick up on aspects of that and think of being mad, insane, and crazy, and bank examples of when you've done those things. Because in interviews, especially when I interview people I know that might be different in different labs for different roles, but it is really good to know that people have experiences of all of these different personal traits that they can demonstrate, because it's the kind of person that you are will make a quality manager. And skills can be learnt, knowledge can be learnt, but you really do have to have a passion for quality and patient safety to be in a quality management role. So as part of preparing for this, I just asked my quality managers in my team for their experiences of being a quality manager. So I just wanted to leave you with some of their quotes that they came back to me with. I really like the quality managers like being an anchor to the department, and the purpose is that if the team drifts away, you can bring them back to safe harbour. The next one says that it's about compassion in the face of error, courage in pursuit of improvement, and the quiet pride. And we do have pride in our work in quality management as well. And when you see people taking those baby steps to improvement, it really does fill you with joy. And then some advice is to bring your own style to the job, because quality management is more of an application rather than set rules, that you can take your own approach as long as it meets the objective, but the quality manager's work is never done. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Helen. I have nodded and smiled and grinned all the way through that. And I've decided, well, I haven't decided, my team regularly tell me that I'm mad, crazy and insane. So obviously have the attributes of a quality manager. Perfect. So there you go. That was absolutely fabulous. Thank you so, so much. We've also had some really, really good ideas for Z. So we can be zealous, zen, zesty. All of these are very good. I'm very impressed with you. So anyone that says a quality manager is boring, we have also disproved that in today's session. So there you go. We do have a couple of questions, so let's just try and get through some of those. Has the removal of the quality manager role in the newer version of the standard, the 2022 version, affected the availability of roles across the nation? And from my experience, and Helen, I'm sure you feel the same, no, absolutely not. And as an organisation, as a professional body, the Institute still, and Helen mentioned it in her talk, still really advocate for the role of quality manager. Now you will see these advertised as a multitude of different job titles. So they may not necessarily say quality manager, they may say change manager or improvement lead or any of these things. They are all still the ethos of quality and improvement as part of the laboratory. But I do not know any laboratory that has removed a role. In fact, we've probably seen,
I think.
Yeah, seen more of us, which is really, really lovely to see. And we know that when we head to Congress later in the year in September, it's a fabulous place to see a whole bunch of quality managers in one place. So do reach out for peer-to-peer support, because it's great to be able to do that as well. Okay, there are a few more questions. Helen, I'm really impressed. You were obviously very prepared and have given us a series of questions, so I'll try and get through a few of them before we get to the end of the session. So, currently working as a specialist biomedical scientist, space quality in my trust alongside our quality manager, but how do I strategically position myself for higher roles within quality? And Helen, I think your slide kind of touched on that, but is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think it is just get that experience in. Unfortunately, with quality managers, because we are passionate about our roles, we don't tend to leave them very quickly. So there is a sort of structure that you do have to get a quality manager bumped off to have an open vacancy. But we do retire, we do go on to do other roles, and it's a case of looking out for those roles and just make sure you get that experience and that you go through the crazy and mad and think about how you do those things, and if there's something that you're missing, try and get some experience in it.
I really like the advice about keeping examples as you go along as well. I mean, we should all be doing that as part of CPD anyway. If you can flesh them out, if you can reflect on them, you're killing two birds with one stone. Your CPD is done, but you are prepping for your next interview at the same time. So really good advice there. The next one is one we get asked quite regularly. So how do we balance the rigidity of compliance with the need for innovation, especially in our world of ever evolving? And Helen calls out specifically around AI and digital pathology, but I would say anywhere really, we are a very innovative service. Helen, I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that.
Yeah, and I think that really touches in with the continual improvement that we have across the laboratories. We don't want to stand still. It's kind of annoying sometimes when you just want some time out to be able to do the things that you had planned to do. But with a quality manager, one of our key roles is making sure that we have control around change, making sure that when we're implementing new systems, that they're being implemented appropriately, with appropriate validation, verification, etc., and things like that. So we're really key within that. So I think it's just making sure that you are getting involved with all of those different implementation of innovation, and whilst we can allow the innovation to come through, when we're properly implementing them and making sure we're going through the validation and verification processes, making sure that patient safety is key as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no such thing as perfect. We innovate all of the time. We change, we develop, we continually improve. I would always say that we use our standards and our compliance as a framework for how we deliver that in a safe, risk-managed way. So see them as a framework as opposed to a barrier, would be my words of wisdom on that one. There's a question about metrics and KPIs. I'm not going to go near it. I'm going to reference you back to the IBMS website, because Nigel did a wonderful talk for us a couple of months ago on metrics and KPIs, and it will tell you everything you know. And like today's talk, it will be available on the IBMS website, and with Helen's permission, we'll make her slides available to you as well. I'm just going to do one more, because there's one in the Q&A session before we wrap up. So there's one around, do you need to worry about your specialism when becoming a QM? So like the person asking the question, they've got lots of experience in chemistry, but not in other disciplines. Words of advice.
You get the experience through quality. So no, you don't need to worry about your specialism. As I said, in my career, I started off as a clinical biochemistry biomedical scientist, and actually that helped, because with clinical biochemistry you do a lot to do with statistics and that side of things, so you don't have to go off and learn that, because you already know a lot of that side of things, whereas some of the less automated disciplines don't have as much experience in that side of statistics and things. But I learnt a lot about all the other disciplines through being a quality manager, and it's amazing. One minute I could be talking about slides and blocks, the next minute I'm talking about blood bank and issuing blood products, and the next minute, you know, I'm talking about C. diff. So and I am a clinical biochemist, chemistry biomedical scientist, so it's not going to hold you back, but you need to think bigger picture when you're thinking about things. So don't always assume that what you do in biochemistry is what they will do elsewhere, because the disciplines are different. But be curious, ask questions, and you'll learn from that. The principle is the same.
And absolutely, just reflecting on some of the stuff Helen said about leadership as well. Authentic leadership and being able to be confident in saying, I'm sorry, I don't know that, but I know where to find out, is really, really important. So as a network of quality managers, we probably have some really strong links, and we come together regularly to say, does anyone know the answer to this? Or could you support me with the other? And that's really, really helpful as well. So use that peer-to-peer network around you. Okay, there are a few other questions in the chat. We will try and pick them up and respond to them over the coming few days, and put some information onto the website for you as we upload this talk. Helen, thank you so much for today. That was absolutely fabulous, and I'm sure everyone's enjoyed it. There's some lovely comments coming in, so thank you. We move forward into August with a little bit of a break, just because it's summer. So we're all going to have a little rest, but we'll come back to you in September with Jonathan and Mairead, who are going to tell us about life as a UCAS assessor. Our UCAS colleagues are always looking out for other technical assessors. So they're going to tell you a little bit about that role, and see if that's something that you would also like to experience. It's a great way of really developing your skill set as a quality manager and learning from experiences in the rest of the country. And then in October, once we've all recovered from Congress, we're going to start talking about the improvement stuff. So tools for pathology improvement and that incremental change piece. In the meantime, thank you ever so much. Have a wonderful summer break, and we'll see you all in September. Take care. Bye-bye.